Hello dear students, welcome to this English literature class, and in this video I am going to discuss a few question answers from The Merchant of Venice Act 2 Scene 2. Well, this is a long scene, and the first part deals with the Lonslot and his father, old Gobbo, and the beginning of the scene is dealing with a soliloquy. What is a soliloquy? That is a literary figure where only one person is standing on the stage and he is speaking to himself just to let the audience know what is going on in his mind. So there's a quite a long soliloquy in the beginning of the scene where Lonslot is trying to decide what he should do. He wants to leave the job and he wants to run away from Shylock's home. So as we proceed, this is the first part of the video. I don't want to make a very long video. So first part of the scene will be discussed in this video. Question number 1. You know the extract system. The extract is: the Fiend gives me more friendly counsel. I will run, Fiend. My heels are at your commandment. I will run. Commandment means order. Question number 1. Where is Lonslot? Introduce him fully. Lonslot Gobbo, that is his full name. Lonslot Gobbo is in a street of Venice. So introduce him fully. We know him as a servant to Shylock, number 1. Number 2, he is a very merry and amusing person. Number 3, he likes to work under good, helpful, polite people just like Bassanio. And number 4, he plays a minor role but otherwise provides a lot of humor through his character. Question number 2. What is Lonslot's problem? Lonslot's problem is he is unable to decide whether he should listen to the Fiend or the conscience. Fiend here refers to devil. The devil in him says that he should run away from Shylock's home because he does not like Shylock at all. But the conscience, Atma ki Awaaz, the conscience in him says that he should be honest to Shylock and should not run away from the house without informing Shylock. Next, what does Lonslot tell both of them? Both of them, the Fiend as well as the conscience. So Lonslot tells both of them that your advice is very sound. He agrees that the conscience gives him a very good advice, but it is very difficult to adhere to it. And he feels that the Fiend gives him a more friendly advice, which is very easy to understand and to follow. Next, question number 4. Why does Lonslot want to leave his old master? Now, Lonslot wants to leave his old master Shylock because, number 1, he does not consider Shylock to be a good person, a good master. Number 2, Shylock is all the time complaining against him. Number 3, Shylock is always finding faults in his work. Number 4, he believes that Lonslot is always overeating. And number 5, Shylock always calls him a lazy and a worthless fellow. Because somewhere Lonslot has even remarked that I am so starved that you can count my ribs with your fingers, later in this scene only. Question number 5. Whose advice does Lonslot ultimately follow or adhere to, and why? So Lonslot ultimately adheres to the voice of the Fiend or the devil as he decides to run away from Shylock's house. Why? He believes to the Fiend because ultimately he considers Shylock to be a wicked, selfish and a cruel master. Next, then we know as the scene proceeds that Lancelot accidentally meets his father and the father is unable to recognize him. So next question, why can Gobbo not recognize Lancelot? Old Gobbo cannot recognize his own son Lancelot Gobbo because he is half blind, or we can say he is sand blind or gravel blind. All these textual words are given in the book and he is not able to see properly. Question number 7. How does he direct Gobbo to the Jew's house? Now Lancelot plays the fool with his own father when the father asks him, not knowing that he is his son, he asks him the address of Shylock's house. So Lancelot tries to tell Shylock's house in the most comical, ridiculous, complicated and inaccurate way by giving stupid directions. Such directions are difficult to be followed even by a normal person, and for a half-blind person it is totally confusing. Question number 8. What has Gobbo brought along with him, for whom and who he does give it ultimately? Well, old Gobbo has brought a present, that is a dish of doves. For whom? He has brought this present for Lancelot's master Shylock. Whom does he ultimately give? He ultimately gives this present to Bassanio as his son had directed him. So I have already discussed, when there are 3 questions in one question, you have to answer in one sentence each. The sub-questions, no need to write anything extra. Next, question number 9. Why does Gobbo object to the use of the word master? When you remember when the old Gobbo had asked, do you know my son Lonslot? So Lonslot had played the fool. Yes, I know one master Lonslot. So why does Gobbo object to the use of the word master? What does he say of himself? Well, in olden times, the young sons of noble people or the aristocrats were called as masters. Since Gobbo considers himself to be a poor man who works really hard to make his ends meet, so he does not like the word master used for his son, as he considers himself to be a poor man. Poor but honest man. Those are the textual words. Gobbo says, although I am poor, but I am an honest man. Next question. Further, Lancelot has mentioned the sisters 3. What do you know about them? Yes, according to the Greek mythology, there are 3 sisters who are known as the goddesses of fate. The 3 sisters are named as Clotho, Lachesis and Atropos, who control the human life or the human destiny. Accordingly, it is said that the first sister spins the thread. हमारी जिंदगी कितनी है वो धागा शुरू करती है. The second sister weaves it. हमारी जिंदगी कितनी चल रही है. And the third sister cuts it. जब हमारी मौत होती है. This is according to the Greek mythology. So when such things are given, these literary epithets and these literary figures, you have to learn them. Remember, they are all given in your workbook and even at the back of your book. Question number 11. Alack the day, God rest his soul, and alive or dead. What does it mean and why is it referred? Alack the day means what an unfortunate day. God rest his soul means may his soul rest in peace after the death. Alive or dead means he wants to know whether his son is alive or dead. So why is it referred? It is referred because Lancelot had made fun of his own father and had decided that he will bring tears to his father's eyes, and he played a prank by telling old Gobbo that his son is dead and is no more in this world. How does Lonslot reveal his real identity to Coppo? Once he plays a prank with his father, he realizes that he has made his father cry, which he should not be doing. So he tries to pacify his father to bring him back to normal by telling him that his own son Lonslot is very much alive and he himself is Lonslot. How does he prove it? Number one, by taking his own name, that I am Lonslot, and number two, by taking the name of his mother Marjorie, as nobody else would be knowing what Lonslot's mother's name is. Question number 13. Which master does he want to serve now and why? Well, after leaving Shylock's house, Lancelot wants to serve Bassanio. Why? There are three reasons why he wants to serve Bassanio. Number one, he finds Bassanio to be a very kind person. Number two, he considers Bassanio to be noble, as he says he has enough. Enough means God's prayers. And number three, he likes that Bassanio always gives rare new liveries or uniforms to his servants. So he wants to work under him. Question number 14. Who comes now? What pledge does Lancelot take on seeing him? Immediately when he was talking to his father, Bassanio comes from the other side. The moment he sees Bassanio, he pledges by saying that he would be working under Bassanio and would not like to work under Shylock anymore, because if he works with Jew, he will himself turn to be a Jew, which he does not want to. Question number 15. When Bassanio entered the scene, what instructions did he give? Who was with him? When Bassanio enters the scene at this juncture, he is followed by Leonardo and his other followers. He gives 4 instructions to his servant Leonardo. Number 1, he asks him to get ready the supper or the dinner by 5 o'clock. Number 2, that the letters should be delivered. Number 3, the uniforms of the servants should be ready. And number 4, to ask Bassanio to meet him at his place. So these 4 instructions were given by Bassanio to his servant. Now another very important question from this scene can be, for your 4-mark question, bring out the incidents of humor from this scene. So there are a lot of scenes where humor has been created, or in other words, where the audience is supposed to laugh. The way Lonslot directs his father for the Shylock's house, that brings humorous. Number 2, the incident where he calls himself to be a prop or a staff or a cudgel post, which all means a support for the old age. That is a humorous incident. And number 3, when both father and the son move together and speak together one by one, leaving the sentences incomplete in order to take a job under Bassanio. Then later in the scene, when Bassanio gets a job and he says that he has a pretty good fate where he will be marrying, he will be having 11 wives, out of which 11 will be widows and 9 maidens, which does not come out to be 11. So all such scenes are very humorous scenes. This is one of the other questions which can come from this scene. Well, the rest of the scene will be discussed in the next video. Do go through the scene and revise it properly. If you have liked it, do give a thumbs up. And if you have still not subscribed, please do subscribe to my channel. Bye-bye.